Here it is. I'm Jason Bockman from Strange Donuts and World's Fair Donuts. Maybe something else soon. Maybe we'll talk about that. Here with Chef Bobby, Drunken Chicken Diaries. But your boy doesn't drink, so I'll probably have some water.
I want to interview people as we drink and just see how dumb the conversation gets and how stupid I look. Because I already hate the way I look on camera. I hate the way I sound. Like when I see myself on Channel 2, I cringe. I'm like, oh shit, man. I call my mom, like, did I do good? She's like, of course, hon, you did a great job.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, seriously, I thought about changing my shirt before I came here. I was like, I don't know if it I was like, do I look okay? I still go, I'm like, my face looks old. You look stupid. You need to tighten it up.
it's funny, man. And so like I'm so critical of myself. So the concept, I called my logo guy, and I was like, dude, I want you to develop a logo that is called Drunken Chicken Diaries, and I want there to be a drunk chicken, and just with Chef Bobby Tesler, and he shot the logo back to me, and it just sat there for the past year. And then I got to talking to Stu. He was rebuilding my website, and I said, dude, I tell him about the idea about the podcast. I want to have a drunk podcast and just interview my friends and, you know, local people that are well known around St. Louis, and just and drink and get drunk and talk shit. And so that's just how it started, man. And when in my very first video, I kind of said that I'm a advocate for the subcultures of misfits. So anything that's like not corporate America, where you got to go to school and then you go wear a tie and then you go work in your cubicle and you have your 401k, and that anything that like that you turn your passion into something that you're making money on. Like tattoo artists, barbers, chefs, fucking strippers, like anything that's just like
Fucking strippers for money.
yeah, whatever, like all that shit. I want to interview everybody that. And you have a hooker story that you talked about on your Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I want to talk to like stunt riders and skateboarders and graffiti artists, and just I'm really about St. Louis, so I just want to have a podcast just to talk shit and have an outlet for me to get away from the restaurant and banging my head against the wall every day, worrying if this person's going to show up, or if my truck's going to be late, or who didn't make this sauce, or who didn't clean this fucking fryer, and you know. So now this is just an outlet for me. So that's,
you liking it?
Dude, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. Like, I look forward to Sundays, like, because I get to release, I get to talk, and I get to like be myself. Because when I'm in the restaurant, I'm kind of everything's strategic. I don't want to curse. I don't want to do this. I'm always just polished and refined, and I try to be as professional as possible. Even though, like, my personality is, I have a filthy mouth. I'm full of tattoos. I've been to prison. Like, there's a lot of shit about me that's just not polished.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's the reason why I am successful, is because of like my edge. And I think that so with you, man, I wanna talk about like your past. And I mean, I read an article a couple years ago, and I haven't really polished up on it, but I know that you like have been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And there's something that you and I mean, there's a lot of things that you and I have in common. We're both giving back and using our history and our past lives to actually, you know, for good reasons now. And I don't think that I would be where I am today if it wasn't for that.
For sure.
And I think that may be something similar to you.
I think, no, for sure. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I stutter.
That's
I don't know if anybody knows that, but do you think it's good? I've like to be polished, but then like, really, I am this, because I wonder about that sometimes.
I wonder, and I want to talk to you about that. So, do I think it's good to be polished? I mean, I think that in the world that we live in now, and when I talk to people about the show, and it's like, well, you're going to be saying fuck, and you're going to talk about strippers, you're going to be drinking, and I'm like, I'm going to be doing everything that those people wish they could do. Like, I think that they want to say fuck. I think they want to be inappropriate, but they just don't.
But I'm saying, here you like wrangle yourself.
I do.
Right.
Yeah, and I noticed that in the way that you market your stuff, it's like you say some things, man, that I'm like, did he really just say that?
And sometimes, dude, like one of my biggest.
But that works for you. It
works for us. And I wonder sometimes, if it wasn't that way, would it work better? But I think that people like I was thinking about this before I came here, actually, man, that I saw somebody, and this guy said something to me, and I can't even remember what he said. He made a joke, like I said something to him. I don't know the dude that well. He made a joke back to me, and I could tell this guy thought about it a bunch and was like, this would be funny if I said this. And I was just thinking about, like, how that would suck to live like that. And for sure, I'm like, there's certain, like, I try to conduct myself in a certain way where I'm like a good guy, try to be a maximum service to people, and like, but I'm not like, I'll fight, you know, like I'm not like this perfect guy by no means, dude. But I was like, when I say some of these things where I'm like, should I say this or not? Those are always the things that hit the most with people. And I could swear to God, dude, I could like, of course I have kids, I have people, you know, I have a bunch of employees that depend on me, so I need to like make sure that we're making money and doing well. But I never say stuff like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then like people are gonna like feel it and then buy more donuts. I'm like, I could give a shit about like the money, like, cause that comes. I mean, you know, I don't know about you, dude, but like, if we didn't get PPP, I'd be like bouncing above and below zero every weekend. It would be like below zero. The weekend comes, we got money to pay the bills, back below zero. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I rant too, dude. So just stop me if you want to ask a question. But like,
I really think that your marketing is genius. And I mean, do you do your marketing?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure you've had people come in and out.
People float in and out for sure. Photographers
that want to help and that do this and do that. But I think that I have the best handle on my media because I know what I want to say. I know what I think they want to hear and what they want to see. But I mean, like, you do stuff and like the things that you do, it's like I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? You know, it's like I posted a picture of you with the Twisted Tea onesie on.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't know, then that's just so fucking hilarious to me.
Thank you.
So like, it's just, there's things that you do, man, and like that is like. And Mike Johnson too, with his restaurants and some of the stuff that he says and does, I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Like he had Bernie Sanders sitting in his restaurant, and I'm like, so I sent it to my producer and I said, dude, you got to put Bernie in my restaurant. So he put him sitting right here, you know, with his legs crossed, and we posted it and got a bunch of engagement. So I mean, yeah, dude, I think that being quirky and taking media and social media and marketing and just taking it and doing what you want with it is what makes you what blew you up, I think.
No, for sure. I mean, our product sucked at the beginning.
I didn't know.
Like, dude, I didn't know what I was doing at all. I was like, man, let's go. But the hype was like, it was so hyped. And now I'll look into the camera and say it like, I could make better donuts than anybody in the world with these hands.
And I feel that way about chicken.
8 years later, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was like, oh shit, like drinking from a fire hose, trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? And now I feel like we're hitting, but like, I'll feel like some of the stuff is like tame now, and I want to like, I don't like ever want to purposely piss people off, but if there's some people that aren't upset, like you know, or people aren't talking about you, you're losing.
Yeah,
bro, you know,
you got to stay relevant
for sure. But I thought throughout this stuff, like I've talked about some stuff and told some stories personally, dude, that like, you know, that that I was like, dude, I feel like when Corona first started or COVID, whatever, dude, that I was like, we are not going to lose. You know, I'm like, I refuse to be a place that says, oh, we closed because of Corona. And I'm like, a lot of people are going to do that. And a lot of people are going to blame Corona on their business closing. And this is whatever, dude, this is the way I feel. I'm like, if we close, it's because of me.
Yeah.
I failed. I stopped fighting. And I'm like, fuck that.
It's not going to be me.
And it's not going to be me, dude.
Yeah.
So I felt like, and I don't know, man, if you grew up the way I grew up.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about how we grew up.
So, dude.
Where did you grow up?
I mean, St. Charles, North County, South City.
So you're from St. Louis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in England. We lived in Arizona when I was a kid. And then we moved to St. Louis. I moved all over. I was like custody of the state. I got arrested the first time I was 11 years old. And then I kept getting in trouble, and I was custody of the state when I was 12, I think. So I would go to I would live in group homes, and then it went from group homes to like, Van Deventer and Enright. I'd be there for months at a time, and then it was, tried as an adult. Then I'm locked up for a few years.
So you did actually go to
drugs.
prison?
I was in a place called Tarkio. I was at a place all over, and like I was at where did you go?
So I was in federal prison, and I got charged with possession charge for drugs, and so
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so I mean, my story in a nutshell is I grew up on the south side.
Where
and,
at?
like Grand and Russell area.
Okay.
And
Lived on Grand Lafayette.
Okay. Yeah, so right over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I saw drug dealers growing up, and I wanted to drive the kind of car they did and whatnot. But I started working in restaurants as a teenager, and I just worked my way up from dishwasher to cook to assistant manager. And then I went to culinary school in Kentucky at 18, came back, got a job as a sous chef, an executive chef, at a couple different restaurants. And then I broke my leg in a motorcycle accident and started selling drugs full time. Mm-hmm. And because I needed to pay my bills.
Yeah.
And
what were you selling?
I was selling coke.
Yeah.
And
I've sold crack.
Did you?
Yeah, I never sold coke. I was like afraid of coke. I mean, like
I was afraid of crack.
Dude, you made money on crack, baby, dude. But like, yeah, I don't care. Whatever, dude. Like all that stuff is back there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I could talk about it now. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, I started off selling like.
I'll tell you, this. You know this because of who you are. Like people that like glamorize this stuff.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, bro, you like people that like want to be drug dealers or like rap about it and don't like, people want to like act tough, talk tough. I'm like, dude, in these crack houses saw the worst stuff happen.
Yeah.
That will never leave my head.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
It is.
And so when I talk about this, I never want to talk about it in a light where it's like,
Glamorous.
oh man, this is awesome. But some of it is glamorous.
yeah, I was gonna
and some of it
say-
is, dude. Some of it I got laid because people are like, that's that dangerous dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, no, I mean,
I got to see some shit, and I bought some gnarly motorcycles. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty kick-ass few years. I elevated quickly in the drug game, so I kind of like climbed the ladder quickly and went from selling grams to like quarter keys.
Yeah.
And so I finally got caught with a kilo, which is like $120,000 street value is what they said.
I hate hearing that though.
And I was like, I've never made $120,000 off of that.
I hear that they're like 4.5 million.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I wish.
if you sell it as little
If you sell
bumps,
gram
dog.
by gram,
Yeah.
Like there's 1,008 grams a kilo. If I sold $1,800 grams, yes,
Yeah.
I'd have 100 grand. But I don't do that. Anyway, long story short, like I lived that way for like 5 years, and yeah, we're live. And hey, mom, if you're there. And then I went to prison. I went to prison for a couple years, and I sat down in federal prison. It sucked.
In
but-
Kentucky also?
No, this was in Louisville, not Louisville, in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
So it was right outside of Memphis, and prison was it was fucked up, man. I mean, like psychologically it was fucked up, and I didn't really get into a lot of fights. Like I actually made friends. I wasn't scared for my life. I was just upset because I couldn't leave, and so I read a lot of books, and I vowed to like be successful when I came home, and I knew I was a chef, and I knew I could do that. So I'm going to go back and work in a restaurant. Hopefully, open up a restaurant.
Did they say pimp meals where you were locked up at?
Pimp meals?
Have you ever heard of pimp meal?
No.
I don't. This is where I would do like it would be like when you chef it up when you get the ramen and sausage and cheese, but it would say pimp meal.
Okay, well we didn't call it.
You didn't
that.
call it pimp meal.
No, we just called it a spread.
The spread.
Or we made a pizza.
You say spread, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We made a pizza or a prison loaf, and it was just a bunch of like rice and chopped up.
Have you ever made that shit since you got out?
At one time.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
You're like, this is dog shit. But when you're there, you're like, oh my god, there's like salt.
Yeah,
and
you get a
you
summer
get some
sausage and some cheese and a pack of fucking mackerel. And
Yeah, dude.
Chili.
Come on.
And, oh god, and pickles.
It's
and,
trash now.
Yeah.
But cheese in your ramen, I still put cheese in my ramen
too.
because of that.
I do too. I've been putting cheese in my ramen forever, dude. And I still like ramen. I'm not like the packs of ramen. Like I'll go to a nice restaurant and get ramen, and I'll be thinking about the cheap shit that I cook at home.
I'll eat ramen probably like once a year just to like remember.
Me
like,
too.
Like remember.
Well, when the COVID thing happened, I went grocery shopping and I stockpiled everything, and I bought like 4 cases of ramen because that shit'll last forever. And then like when I would be at home and I'd be starving and I might go home, I'm kind of drunk. I find myself making a couple packs of noodles. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like you're like you have this fine dining background of chef and like you cook foie gras and use truffles and all this stuff and you're eating ramen noodles. And I tried to pull it out of Mike Johnson, like, what do you eat? And he was still bougie as fuck. Like he was
Really?
like, oh, he has like 8 different kinds of butter from France, and he puts it on this artisan bread and a piece of salami and some kosher salt. And I'm like, dude, I'll go to Steak and Shake and get a Frisco melt. And
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad about it. I go to Taco Bell, and I mean I'm a chef, but I try to meal prep and eat healthier. So when you okay. I want to add. This show's about you, dude. I want to know.
Whatever, ask me. Yeah, I'll tell you whatever.
The hot dog stand,
Yeah.
as I can remember, that you had a partner or somebody like hooked you up with, like you had this idea that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Or you were somewhere. Tell me about how that.
Hot dog stand. So
Because you don't have a food background, do you?
I worked in restaurants,
Okay.
but not like I'm a chef or did anything.
But you
I
didn't grow
just
up
did
thinking
stuff.
like this is what I want to do.
No,
Okay.
I didn't know what I had. I figured I'd be dead. I swear I had no. I
didn't
never
think about
made
the
any
future?
plans. I never made any plans. I played basketball, and I did not know how to go to college. I thought I'd play in a park, and I was good, and I'd be like, a scout's going to come to the park, and I'm going to go to college because they're going to say, hey, kid, you can play basketball and go to college. I was just a fucking Hoosier.
Right.
And I didn't know that you could, like, I didn't know.
Right.
Anyway, so I never had any plans. But no, I was in Arizona. I would buy hot dogs from this dude there. I ended up moving back to Arizona for a few years. And when I came back to St. Louis, I was just broke, and I was like, man, I know I can a few ways to make money, and I'm like, I'll try this hot dog stand thing,
And that's
dude.
a genius idea because
It was tight. There was nothing like it at the time. There was one dude downtown, and there was a on the east side. There's always the hot dog guys, but like no one was really doing it in St. Louis, and I just showed up and did it, and that was it. And I think like people that like try to make business complicated, it's just not. Like
Right.
show up, act like you know what you're doing until you know what
Exactly.
you're doing, and
that's
and
how I did it.
that's it. And so I don't know. I was making money selling hot dogs. The first night when I went out was the night before Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Right. A lot of people don't know. There's like, I guess I don't know, but like there, whatever. So I'm out the night before Mardi Gras. I saw all these hot dogs. I didn't know that the night before Mardi Gras there's like I guess like a big LGBT thing that happens the night before. I was out there. I sold out of hot dogs, and I was like just handing my money, my boy like a stack. I was like, dude, just go buy as many hot dogs and stuff as you can. I'm gonna stay out here tonight. Just be back here in the morning. That night, I saw all my boys that like trap that you're probably talking about, like, I'm gonna get into it, but like they're the real deal.
Yeah.
And they see me like, and they were like, keep doing what you're doing.
The guys that are still in the streets hustling.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, anyways. So I was like, I felt embarrassed for a little bit selling hot dogs, but I was like, fuck it, I don't have anything to lose. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know what the worst is, and if the worst is, I'll go back to the worst. And
But I'm sure that some part of that, like your pride, was like, damn, I'm selling hot dogs, and
part of it I didn't care, and I think part of it, like people, I do not care. I will clean the toilets at my place right now. If everything fell apart right now, dude, I would not. I would deliver post. I would do whatever. I would
Yeah.
do whatever. And I've just always been that way, and I don't care. I'm not prideful. I think a lot of people miss a lot of opportunities being prideful.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man. I was that night. I came home after working like 24, 28 hours, or whatever it was, dude. And I had a pillowcase full of money. I dumped the pillowcase full of money out on the ground in between my legs, dude. And it was just a pile of money, and I was like, bro, like this could happen.
Yeah.
And I started just going places with the hot dog cart. I'd show up at Busch Stadium.
did you have a permit?
Hell no. I'd just show up. I'd have a piece of paper, and I'd be like, hey, free hot dogs all day to the cops, And they were like, so whenever anybody would ask, they'd be like, he's good. And I did the same
That's
thing
awesome,
in the loop.
dude.
And then I ended up getting the permits that I needed. So
Right.
I sold hot dogs. I sold that company. And I don't know, I like went to China for a while. And
I read about that.
learned some stuff there, and I don't know, man. My life is. I feel like super blessed, dude. I know you're like trying to get serious, so you can get stupid.
No,
I can get completely
no.
stupid if you want, but like
I want it all, dude.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I'm like, I feel pretty fortunate, dude. We watch Jeopardy in the kitchen now a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, and I swear to God, I went to community college after I quit school when I was 12. 8th grade, I went to a couple months of 9th grade.
I went to 1 week of 9th grade, and that was the last school I went to.
The cops were looking for me, and I was like, they're going to find me at school, so I'm not going back to school.
I just didn't want to wake up early.
Dude.
I said, Mom, I'm not going back.
There's no reason that I should know all the shit that I know on Jeopardy. I watch Jeopardy, and I swear to God I could win that.
When people tell me, when I tell people I never went to high school, they're like, well, how are you so smart? I'm like, I'm just fucking smart. I don't know. Like, I'm just... I need information. I'm always researching.
Yeah.
I'm always looking up stuff. I'm always just looking for shit. And I teach myself. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't taught in school, and I don't think school can really... I have an 18-year-old son that's in college, and he hates it. He's like, Dad, I'm never going to use this shit. I'm like, then stop going.
Yeah.
I'm one that says you don't need college. Some people do. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to do this or do that, you need it. To do what I wanted to do, I really didn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't need it. A lot of people waste thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't use their degree.
I was making $120,000 selling hot dogs, cash, a year. I'd go between 100 and 120, which is tight.
Hell yeah.
And I got some award in school, and they interviewed me at college, and they were like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'll get a job at Boeing. And I didn't know. I thought that this was like fleeting. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too far into that, but I thought success was get a job at Boeing, and make, starting, people were making $35,000, $40,000 a year, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's tight for a ton of people. But what it was to me, I'm like, dude, now you're in a box.
Yeah.
You got 4 bosses telling you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting a job, and I was like, what's the most that I can make if I kick ass? And they told me, and I was like, wow, it was less than what I was making. And I go into work, and there's people saying racist, stupid shit to me, calling me Al Qaeda, saying racist shit all the time. And I was like, and this is the environment that I gotta be in. I gotta, eat shit and make no money, dude. But I think for a ton of people, I thought, and I think a lot of people think that is the path. And now I know it's not. Not for me.
I told my son, if you want to go to barber college and open a barber shop, do it.
Yeah.
I'll buy you the clippers.
Yeah.
But if you want to, do what makes you happy, man. Do it, and this is a cliche, but it's like if you feel like you're working, or if you do something that you're passionate about, it's not going to feel like work.
Yeah. But sometimes, dude, I think a lot of people fucking quit too soon because shit is hard. And I think that we're not saying that. We're not saying if you like it, because if you like it, it's. I think that gets misconstrued by a lot of pussies, right? Yeah. Is they're saying, oh well, this is hard. It's not fun, but it doesn't have to be fun and easy all the time for you to love it.
Yeah, exactly.
This past couple weekends, dude, I've been working a ton, and there's some stuff in my life that's going on right now that I don't want to get into. I'll cry, but I've felt usually when I'm making donuts, because I still make donuts and stuff, people are surprised when they come into Strange Donuts, dude, and they see oh, dude, you're dirty in the back making donuts.
That's me.
I still make donuts, dude.
That's why I like you.
Yeah. Usually, dude, I'm I feel like I'm painting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I look at the donuts, and I'm like, man, I'm proud of you. I feel so, I love this thing, dude.
Yeah.
And then, but the last couple weekends, dude, I'm it's felt like a grind, And I think that a lot of people in the world right now feel that the things that are simple pleasures in their lives are grinds right now, or there's not a lot to be positive about or look forward to. So I just know in this time, I'm it will get better, and I can't give up.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, dude, this week I just had somebody quit last week, and I don't have a spot for him, so I'm going to be the cashier, the opening cashier this entire week. And as much as it sucks, it just is what it is. So a lot of the times when I'm in the back and I'm cooking, or I'm filling ranch cups, because we make our ranch from scratch, and we cup each one from scratch. And we go through 5 gallons a day of cupped ranch, hundreds. And I'm back there filling ranch cups, and my staff will be like, dude, I'll do that. Or, no, let me do that. I'm like, no, I want to do this, or I want to clean off the tables. Like, I understand that you think that that's not my job, but I'm meditating. Like when I'm cupping ranch or if I'm making a sauce, and you could easily be doing it, but I actually want to, because it's how I clear my head. It gives me a chance to kind of map out my day or my week, or think about some shit that I'm upset about or in my personal life. I like working, and like you said, when people will see us on TV or on Channel 2 or whatever, doing whatever it is that we do, and then they come into our restaurants and they see that we're actually back there working, they're shocked. They're like, "You're actually working? Like, what the fuck? What do you think I'm doing?"
But people who know what it is to build a business expect that.
Well, I think that's why we're still open, and I think a lot of people that get into what we do because they think it's a glamorous lifestyle, and they just want to have something to be proud of and just never be there. It fails. They lose consistency, and everything just goes to shit because they weren't there. They didn't have their hands on it, and me being hands on is the reason why I'm still here after 10 years.
I've wondered too sometimes. I mean, I think on the flip side of that, would we be bigger if I wasn't hands on?
I think about that too, and I think maybe I'm scared of the risk. I'm scared of like biting off more than I can chew, and I'm comfortable in my little zone. And I don't know, because I like sometimes I want to ask Mike Johnson. I'm like, do you ever feel like you're just doing too much? And I never ask him that, because he's a prideful guy. He's not going to be like, oh no, this sucks, or
he'd be straight up with you, dude.
I mean, I know him.
Yeah, he's the homie.
Yeah, he will. But I don't want to expand. Like, I don't think that's just not what I want to do, bro. I don't want to. People say, well, why don't you have 5 of these? Why don't you open up this, and this, do that, and like, I really don't want to do that. I don't want 5 restaurants. I don't.
I want 1,000. I want to put Dunkin' Donuts out of business.
Right. It's either you stay where you are in this market, or you fucking blow up.
Right. We got an opportunity in Chicago a couple weeks ago. I went up there 2 times, and then I got scared. And usually, I get scared, and I'm like, "Fuck it, who cares?" I got scared a couple weeks ago, and I think that's probably why I've been in the kitchen, like,
making donuts,
feeling like I'm not painting, feeling like it's work. Is it because I let the fear eat my lunch a little bit, and and I don't think I need to be like reckless or anything, but have you ever watched The Men Who Built America?
Yeah.
Have you watched America: The Story of Us? There's 4 things,
with
dude.
Rockefeller?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So you watch these dudes. Love it.
Yeah, love it.
So, like, I love Rome.
I feel like I'm a nerd, but
No, fuck it. No, that's tight, dude. And
Yeah.
you, like, there's a bunch of stuff, and we could talk about all that stuff, dude. But, like, I watch these dudes who built these great, crazy things, and people can talk about, like, labor laws at the time, and it's different now, right?
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is that, like, all those dudes were born within, like, 10 years of each other. Ford, Tesla, Edison, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Carnegie.
Yeah,
right?
they all. I mean, but they pioneered.
They're all born right around the same time. There's something to be said for, like, luck and, like, stuff in the ether. You know what I mean? Where things are moved forward. But there was millions of other people who could have done the exact same thing.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they didn't. I think a lot of people started getting scared and, like, we're like, I'm fine in my little
because you're
fiefdom
safe.
here,
You're safe,
right?
there.
I'm the king of this little bitty pond. When not like, I don't know, just and not like, oh, I'm so prideful and I need people to remember me, but I want to see how far we can push it, and I watch what those dudes did, and those dudes are, like, ruthless.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
they were, like, buying each other out and, like, just bankrupting each other and
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't care if they killed. There's not many people I don't like, dude. Seriously, there's like a dude that I don't like. I'm not even gonna say, like, there's like a couple people, but, like, usually like if I have a problem with somebody or something happens, like, I think there was, like, a misunderstanding with me and you one time, and I was like, hey man, what's up? Was this?
Yeah, I forgot what that was.
About a shirt or something. About Red Hot Riplets, dude. And I was like, I just called.
You called me.
I was like, hey man, we good? What's up?
Yeah.
Like, but I think, like, but there's one dude that I like to beat the fucking, well, I beat his ass, but, like, because the dude smiles in my face, dude, and I'm like, I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, we're all good. And then we'll go talk shit online. I'm like,
there's a couple of
fucking
those
pussy.
out there. There's a
Yeah,
couple,
I'm like, dude. And there's all these, like,
Yeah.
internet gangsters, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Where, I don't know, when we have a problem, somebody complains, like, big time in the store, I want to genuinely know, dude.
Me too.
Like, hey, man, what happened? How can we fix that? You know what's crazy to me, dude? That I think that is, like all throughout our culture, right? It's like I see it manifested like in a couple different ways, dude. Have you ever like I'll watch people and you see like somebody standing behind somebody and they need to like get around them and they'll be like, and I'm like, say excuse me.
Right.
You'll stand behind the person and be upset,
rather than saying excuse
like
me.
because really you're a pussy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
afraid to like, hey, I need to get over there.
Exactly.
Same thing like when like dude sit in a restaurant, eat the food, pay for the food, tip the person,
Yeah.
leave, slam the people. Have
Dude.
you ever left a Yelp review?
I have.
Oh, for what?
I will say this: most of them were good because when I get great service, I want to recognize.
Yes,
it,
I'm negative Yelp
yeah.
review.
Have I left a negative one? Yes. It was at a Chinese restaurant, Joy Luck. I'll say it. I really liked their food, dude. But I was there, and it was like a half an hour before they closed, and they all came out with hoses and just started fucking spraying the floor down, and like I could feel the mist like, hitting me in the back.
Did
of
you
the
say
head.
anything?
No, because I didn't know how to at the time. I was
There's
a pussy.
Steve.
I guess I was a pussy.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, think about this. If you were like, bro, I'm eating my food. You're spraying me.
I don't think that would have helped. I don't
Yeah,
think
they don't give a shit when I get out of here. Then that is what it is.
I guess I pussied out on them.
But I'm like, dude, if somebody
But it
came here,
happens all the time here, and they have a problem. Like, why didn't you just say something?
just tell me. I want to
Yeah.
know. I would have fixed it right here.
I respond to every review that I get, and Mike doesn't touch his, but I respond to all of my reviews, and the bad ones I pay extra attention to. I say if they're like ridiculous, I might give them a hard time. Like you obviously woke up on the wrong side of the bed today and felt like being miserable and taking it out on me or us or whatever and hiding behind your computer. Or I will talk shit sometimes because I'll say you just obviously didn't go to the right restaurant. I don't know what restaurant you went to, but yeah, I mean they blasted me all the time and I posted something the other day that says
I saw that.
about McDonald's.
They'll screw up your order.
They'll screw up your order 1,000 times, and you'll continue to go back. But a small business will do it one time, and you'll blast them online. You're like talk shit about them, and I'm like,
I was thinking about that.
and somebody got on there and said, well, McDonald's is cheap, and your food's more expensive, so they have higher expectations. I said that is bullshit.
I just try to think, man, whenever I go to any place, dude, whenever, and not like I interact with McDonald's or any like big brand or anything online, but like that's a person, dude, who takes pride in their job and would want to fix it,
Yeah.
right? Like the dude handling the Twitter, it's probably 50 people handling the Twitter for McDonald's. Those are real people.
Yeah.
And when you're saying like, whatever you're saying to McDonald's, like I just try to not live that way, dude, where I'm like talking shit to people. I think most people, it was like, I called you, like, hey man, are we good? What's up? And it was like, yeah, we're good, whatever. It was like, boom.
Yeah.
Like, the same time, I'm like, dude, there was something, this happened in Strange Donuts in Kirkwood the other day. I got a call, like, dude, we're probably going to get a bunch of Yelp reviews or something. Here's what happened. This dude comes in. My guy was, like, frustrated about something going on. And he was, like, kind of being short with the guy. And we're really known for our service. Like, usually, like, hey, what's up? We love it. We, like, make friends with the customers, for real, and I love it. And that's my favorite thing to do is work in the front of the store. But the dude took the bag and flapped the bag, and the bag flew out of his hand, and the guy was like, look, I don't need your fucking attitude. And then the dude who works for me was like, I don't need your fucking attitude, you know? And then they just started screaming at each other. And then he was like, and they just screamed at each other, and he was like, here's your donuts. And they're like, he's like, how much is it? And he's like, $11.50. And they left. And I was like waiting for the review. But you know who that person was? Not a punk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he got his issue out right there. And like, I don't need your fucking attitude. And he's like, I don't need your fucking attitude. Well, what's wrong with you? Fuck you. Well, fuck you. Give me my donuts. Here's the money.
And the dude comes back.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, yeah.
Because, like, it got handled right there.
Yeah.
Do I want people screaming at the customers?
No.
No. But I'll tell you this, dude. You're not going to come to the store, like, getting fucking wild on the customers.
Dude.
Or on the people that work for me.
I have a story for that. This lady used to come in here like maybe once a month, and she called herself Dr. Blank. And she wasn't an MD. She just like got a high education.
Yeah.
And she referred to herself as
She
doctor.
wanted you to be... Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she wanted me to like, I don't know, whatever it was. But she came in and she was really particular, really rude all the time. And literally, I had a new guy up there and she's like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to him. He knows my order. I want to talk to you. And she started just like tripping.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got worse and worse. And it escalated to the point where I said, listen, I don't want you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I'll never come back now. I'll never come back and you'll never see me again. And you'll never. And I said, I won't miss you.
Yeah.
I don't care. Your $80 a month is not going to affect my business. But what you're not going to do is come into my store and talk shit to my employees.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that.
I try, dude.
And there's only been like 3 times I've had to go there with somebody.
We had this kid named, I'm not going to say his name, but he was like, I'll hire, like sometimes people will be, I've stopped hiring people. Like I don't hire people anymore. There's other people that interview because like I say the weirdest shit in the interviews and people are like, dude, you're going to get sued, you know?
You can't say
Yeah.
that, man.
And, but also, I like hiring super weird people, dude, who like might not be, and I'm like, I have a soft spot where I'm like, man, I think that we can help them. And like, it's obvious they don't have any friends and we can be like a community for them. And we hired this kid and all these dudes would like bully this kid in high school. And it turned out he was 14. I didn't know he was 14.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But he came in, he's in college now and he's awesome. And, but he came in with his parents and he's like, can I have a job? I don't hire anybody like if their parents have anything to do with the hiring process. And I'll tell the parents, I'm like, you're crippling your kids. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hire your kid because of that. Because you're going to call me and ask, hey, can Danny have off this weekend?
I'm not going to do that.
Right. So this kid comes in, dude. He asks for a job. I'm like, give me a resume. He's like, I don't have a resume. I'm like, just tell me a story about yourself. He emailed me a story about yourself. I'm like, well, you're hired.
That's awesome.
These kids come in and they're bullying this kid. Like, he's like a freshman. These kids are like seniors. And I'm like, dude, you guys didn't know that blank, blank, like, he runs this store. This is his store. He probably makes more money than your dad. He's the shit.
Yeah.
Right? And then I like whisper to these kids, like, I'll beat the fuck out of you. Right? If you ever come in here thinking you're going to bully this kid, my kid now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you took a special liking
Bro,
to this guy. Yeah.
I love, this is, I love the people I work with.
Yeah,
right?
man.
They're a family, dude. Through COVID, right? I feel like special responsibility to these people.
For sure. I've driven, dude, I mean, there are a couple people that work for me that didn't get unemployment for whatever reason, and I would drive out to the county and just give them $100 just because I knew they needed it. I take care of my people, and we're going to talk about this. That's another one of my things. We're going to talk about that, but about giving back. I want to get into how you started. Because we've been all over the place. I want to know how you started Strange Donuts. I know in the beginning you had a partner.
Right.
But where did the donut thing come from? Because how did you even...
So, whatever. I
donuts?
grew up all over the place, dude, and lived on the south side, eat donuts all the time. I started thinking about, I sold the hot dog stand, I'm doing furniture, I'm going to school, and I was like, I would go take donuts to these customers for their furniture all the time. Mm. And then they just started being like, dude, you come in here all the time, who are you? I was a younger guy, you know. And I'm like, whatever. Like, they knew that I did the hot dog stand. They were like, we might be selling this at some point. Do you want this? And then I started thinking about it. I'm asking them questions about the business. And donuts, you know, transactionally is a lot like hot dogs, right? And I was like, I would sell hot dogs in my sleep. I just missed it. I missed chopping it up with people. I missed, like, just, like, selling furniture. It might be like a year and a half before somebody buys something, right? Like, you're drunk and you want a hot dog, that's your favorite thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a kid, you get a donut, that's your favorite thing.
Right. Because I grew up at World's Fair Donuts.
Yeah.
Because I lived like 8 blocks from there, and it was
I don't know how we never met. How old are you?
I'm 41. Yeah.
I don't know how we never met each other.
I was fucking busy on my skateboard or chasing girls or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Dude, I live like 39th and Lafayette. Like on the other side of the
I
highway
lived
from you.
on 39th and Russell.
Yeah.
Really? You stayed in the hood?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, me too.
Dude, like, yeah. But
maybe we did. Maybe I
don't know. Dude, like, I thought, like, in that, whatever. I was like, I'm the only white person here.
I thought I was too.
Dude.
I really did. I did. Because, like, all the white kids went to St. Margaret's. The grade school is a private Catholic school, and I didn't. My mom, I guess we couldn't afford it, so I went to private or public school, and I was like the only white kid in my neighborhood. At least I thought. And so that was my life growing up. But so and I grew up on World's Fair Donuts.
Yeah, we own that now. I'll like, here's a progression real quick, and some of this stuff is fine to talk about. Like I'm like, I want to get into like other shit.
I do.
But like,
yeah.
dude, so I start doing this. I'm looking at the donut business. My buddy from college is like, why don't we start our own brand? Right? I'm like, cool, let's do it. So it was going to be called Dogtown Donuts. Like, he came to me with like Dogtown Donuts, and I was like, that doesn't mean any. People in West County don't know what Dogtown is. Like, if
Right.
we're starting a brand, it needs to be like you immediately know what it is. Because what I learned with the hot dog stand is, I was still like had this like trap mentality where like you can like walk away from everything real quick. You know what I mean? I was like afraid of not having the
I
right.
still do that. I still have cash.
Dude. I'm not gonna talk about that, dude. But like,
I'm not gonna say where it is, but I'm still worried about certain paper trails and.
you should not talk about it on a podcast, dog.
I don't give a fuck.
Dude, so here,
I don't
you
have
learn anything.
I don't have $100,000 in the shoebox anymore, but
dude.
I
So
don't trust banks sometimes.
I was like, we won an award, best hot dogs in St. Louis. Okay, and it was the guys with the carts, because we had fire food.
You didn't have a name?
Didn't have a name, dude, because I was like, I don't want anybody to know who I am.
That's
because I want to be
awesome.
able to dip if something's wrong.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, dude, and I started learning about business.
So
I
you
learned
won
about
best
marketing.
hot dogs
Best hot dogs
without
with
a
no
name. That's fucking awesome. I
and
love
so,
that.
dude, and they were good. I miss them. I sometimes think about this, man. I'm just gonna open a stand and just pop up.
That's
but
awesome.
the permits and stuff now are stupid.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I was like, strange. Like, people need to immediately know what it is, and like have an idea of what to expect before they get there. And I need to be able to drop a Strange Donuts in Houston, Texas, and it means the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is Dogtown Donuts
Yeah.
in Houston, Texas? No one knows, right? Oh, there's some skateboarder kids or something, right?
Yeah.
Like Dogtown. That's probably what they mean. So that's what we did. It blew up. We worked real hard. We did a bunch of pop-ups. I was just kind of like, I was at the time like what the business needed me to be, and it was like the business dude, and then I'd like, swing a hammer at night building the store, and so I have like some funny stories about that I've never really told about Strange Donuts, dude. Like, the plumber beat us, right? There was just like a big, like a 10-foot hole in the floor. The dude got paid and dipped. And I was in there like filling in this hole. I live in the city. They give you the trash cans. I'd fill the trash can and then like wheel them down the street, throw them in the sewer. I would fill up. I had this van I called Skull Van. It was like 1985, like Ford, whatever. I don't know, but it was tight. It had a big skull on the front of it, and I would fill Skull Van up and then like drive through the alleys on the way home and throw stuff in the dumpsters. And it idled real hard, and it would go like 20 if you put it in drive and didn't have your foot on the brake.
Oh, shit.
And I thought I threw it in park. I had it reversed. I jumped out, dude, and the thing was running me over. I was hanging onto the door. It was dragging me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to hit a pole. I'm going to die. You know what I mean? I'm going to die before the store even opens. I ended up getting my foot on the brake. I stopped it. And then I was like, man, we need to try to get a dumpster because I'm fucking killing myself every night, dude. And but I'd be up for like 3 days straight.
Oh man.
I'd start getting all paranoid. I had a chopper in the store because I'm like, I'd be in there working literally like 3 days, no sleep, dude. Swinging a hammer, filling trash cans, throwing them in the alley, and I start hearing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I needed a chopper.
Delirious.
Yeah, dude. But anyways, we opened Strange Donuts. It goes bananas. The Cardinals snuck into the World Series that year.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was the day we opened, and they were like, broadcasting from Busch Stadium. Now back over to you at Strange Donuts. Everybody in St. Louis is watching the Cardinals game.
Yeah.
Dude, and they're like passing it back over to Strange Donuts. So we just went crazy, dude. And it hurt us more than anything, dude, because like everybody knew and the hype was so much, and the product was like, all right, And so whatever, it just went nuts. And I was like, if we stop here, I will get comfortable. If I stay here, I will get comfortable and we will not move past this point. I will be bored and we'll eat ourselves, you know. And so we started immediately looking for spot 2. We opened in Kirkwood. We opened a store in Columbia, 3rd. And then I don't know, from there, like, we ended up closing the Columbia store, and that sucked. It sucks to close a place, dude.
Yeah.
And I closed it, like, not paying much attention to it, and a bunch of people got upset by the stuff that I said. That was one of the things where I'm like, man, like, I wish I could take that back.
Yeah.
Like, but whatever. But I didn't mean what people, whatever.
Right. They'll
I
twist
say some
things
stuff and it got twisted, and I was like, man, I was so depressed. Mike Johnson was one of the dudes that called me, and he's like, look, man, I know who you are. And people in St. Louis, you know what's crazy, dude? We closed the store. Fuck, man, fuck it. I'm gonna talk about this.
Yeah, please do.
Dude, so we closed the Columbia store. I sell furniture. I've never been able to tell this story out loud to anybody.
Okay.
We closed the store in Columbia. I have this furniture company. I get reports about enrollment at universities, right?
Okay.
I see that enrollment is down 45%. There was like Black Lives Matter, like, really jumped off. One of the main points was in Columbia,
At Mizzou.
at Mizzou.
Yeah.
And so it was already down, right? And it was
Yeah.
our most expensive store to operate. We're paying like $6,000 a month for rent,
Damn.
where our other stores are like, I don't know what you pay, but like,
Yeah, I'm at 25.
okay, so 2.5 times that
That's
to have a
crazy.
store in Columbia where the population is 100,000 people when
Yeah.
all the students are there, and it's 30, 40 or whatever when the students are gone. The students are gone 3-4 months a year.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, we're paying all this money to be right here, 3-4 months a year. The students aren't here, and now half of the students aren't even coming back.
Right.
So we gotta go. I'm walking into a meeting, dude, and I text. A lot of people don't know this. I have like biracial kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, you know, where I grew up. Like, I'm not like
Yeah.
this. Like, I'm just whatever. I'll tell the whole story. I just Google. I'm walking into a meeting, feeling fucking depressed, feeling fucking defeated because I'm gonna have to close this store because
Yeah.
it's got a nostril above water. I'll tell you, on the back end of that. I'll tell the story now. I'm like, how are we losing so much money? I end up getting a call a year later, dude. They're like, hey, all your money from this, I was asking accountants, like, something's wrong here. They end up, all this money, a portion of my money was getting rerouted every day from credit cards. $85,000 was getting sent and put into escrow for some weird thing. They're like, we have all this money for you. This is several months after I closed that store. And I was like, had I known that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucked. Anyways, I'm walking in this meeting. I Google get out of Columbia. There's a girl going, get out, right?
Yeah.
She's saying, you could tell she's saying get out. So I was like, sorry, Columbia, we gotta go, blah, 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 blah. I go into the meeting. I get out of the meeting, and there's like 1,000 comments on this thing. And it was like people fighting back and forth. Fuck you, social justice warrior. Fuck you, you racist. And I was like, whoa. And it went crazy. I was on my way to Columbia because I got all the people that work for me jobs at other places. I'm going to give them like severance,
Yeah.
explaining the stuff. By the time I got out there, dude, like, I was like, do I need a gun? It was fucking wild.
Damn.
And people were saying, kill yourself. If not, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, I couldn't, it was like it spun out so fast. I couldn't respond because I respond to all the comments. When you say something on Strange Donuts, Jason Bockman is responding to you. Right?
And that's me too. Yeah.
So I'm like trying to respond to comments, and I couldn't. I'm like liking all the comments to let people know, like, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. I'm not deleting any comments. You know what I mean? Like, I want to talk to these people about this. I had one friend in San Francisco, this dude Adrian, black dude, I like known forever. He was like, dude, why'd you use that picture? And I was like, I did this. Like, I Googled get out. He's like, man. I was like, I could have done this picture. I had this girl in front of the store. She was like, just some girl that worked there. It was saying peace. I was going to say, peace out, Columbia. And I was like, that ain't me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to say, like, I said, we screwed up here. Couldn't make it work. We got to get out.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So what was the photo? Was it like a controversial?
So there was a lady, and I can't remember her name, dude. There was a lady who told a journalist to get out, right?
Okay.
And that was the photo. I didn't see like, I was like, man, I didn't like mean anything crazy by it. Here's like, so and there was a 12-year-old who called and was like, there's a 12-year-old who's like, can I call you? I would like to ask you a question. And a 12-year-old was like, hey, why did you close that way? And I was like, this and this and this. And he was like, that makes sense to me. I could see how that could happen. And I was like, to your point, when you're talking about people slamming you, and like, I was like, man, I don't know that I've ever been like this misunderstanding of other people. The next day, I'm with some friends, and whatever, like, I don't know, like, oh, the white guy, but like everybody that I was with, there was 6 people, I'm the only white dude.
Okay.
Right? They're my homies.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just got a call from so-and-so. What's the dude's name on Fox?
Shit.
No, there's a dude nationally.
Oh.
The big dude.
Bill-
Cooper or
Tucker Carlson?
Tucker Carlson.
No shit.
Tucker Carlson's people called me like, we'd like to have you on the news to talk about, and I was like, no, I'm good, man. Like to talk about like how Black Lives Matter ruined your business, and I was like, bro, that didn't happen. That's not what happened, bro.
Damn.
And and then that day, you can go back and look at it. It was like there was 3 things that day. Obamacare they tried to repeal Obamacare for the first time. The mother of all bombs got dropped, and Strange Donuts closes in Columbia, Missouri, amidst Black Lives Matter. And I was like, holy fucking shit, man. And I was like, getting my phone's blowing up, and people are like, dude, what's going on? And I was like, people are saying I'm a racist. And they were, and my friends, all around, they were like, you? Dude, I come back that week in St. Louis, our sales went up 27%.
Wow.
This community, dude, was like, no. We know who you are. I know you. I grew up with you. That's not who you are. Fuck these people. Here's some support. Right?
Wow, man.
And dude, I was like, and then there were some other people, like, it was like, and whatever, I don't know, there's this prayer by St. Francis that says it's better to understand than to be understood.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've never been like, hey, man, here's what happened. Because, like, I don't need you to understand what happened there, dude. But, like...
But did you kind of feel like you wanted people to understand?
But it didn't matter. I mean, anything that I said, any comment that I made, people were like... I ended up deleting the post, and then I was like, hey, man, I made another post. This PR company called me. They're like, this is what you need to do. And I was like, well, fuck, man, I feel like I'm drowning. Like, I'll take some help from whoever will give it.
Yeah.
And they're like, delete the post, apologize. And I was like, man, I felt like a punk doing that. But I ended up saying, like, hey, I never delete posts. I deleted this post because it seemed like it was upsetting a lot. It was hurting people. It was never my intention to hurt people. I've done everything I can to give back to this community and live my life as a dude of whatever, you know what I'm saying, like togetherness. I can't remember what I said. And I don't know, dude. I was like, you know who I have been up until this point will answer more questions than I can with my voice now saying some shit. Because you see people that screw up, and you're like, no, that's who you are, dude. Like, you suck. You know what I mean? And they try to say, I'm checking into sex rehab or whatever. You know what I mean? No, dude, like, you've been smashing hookers for years. We know who you are.
Right, exactly.
Anyways.
But, I mean, shit, but those stories, dude, and so, like, how do you feel about Columbia now?
I don't know. I think that there's, like, an opportunity, dude, still. Like, you know what? I look at it different now. Like, I was thinking colleges will be our market.
Yeah, they say that to me all the time.
Right? But there's very simple things that, like, I don't, that I think that I felt like an idiot for overlooking. Like, you pay it's like the expenses are way higher.
Yeah.
The employees can work 4-hour shifts because they got to go to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your staff is 3 times as big, right? So your payroll is crazy. You're trying to get by with half of the people 33% of the year.
Exactly.
Right? And I was just like, it just doesn't, it was a headache, but I was like, man, we're going to crush in Columbia, then we're going to go to Gainesville. Then we're going to go to, you know what I mean? We're going to go to all these big college towns.
Yeah.
Think about this, bro. You didn't go to, well, you went to school.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college. Would you rather spend $2.50 on a donut, or will you buy like some pop-off vodka?
Yeah.
You're buying the vodka, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, our tickets, dude, we would do 300 and something tickets, 400, 500 tickets a day. Sometimes we would do like 700 tickets, dude.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah.
$1 at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One donut.
One donut.
Yeah.
I want and the dude's throwing up in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want a donut. And I'm like, it was tight. It was tight for the culture of Strange Donuts to be there and like to just be wild. We'd have punk bands, we'd have rappers in the store. We could do whatever we wanted, and it was tight.
Yeah.
Right? But so
You
that's
were-
what I've tried to separate with marketing, right? Like, and this is like I feel like maybe I've grown a little bit, is like to be reckless for the point of being reckless for the clout of your image and culture is one thing, right? But a business needs to make money.
Yeah.
And it can't make money on recklessness
Yeah.
all the time, right? So now, like, I feel like it's a little filtered when we can be reckless. I mean, I don't know if you saw what we did, whatever, I'm not even going to talk about that and incriminate myself, but like, I choose the points now when we're reckless. And some of it, I'm like bummed out by it. Like,
Well, I mean, but a lot of the shit that you do that's like could be considered controversial, or I mean, like the 420 stuff and the stoners, and I mean, even with Mike and High Point
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, dude, that shit sells, bro, and it's bringing you attention. And I think that, man, I think that as long as your brand is in people's face and in their ear,
for sure. But you think about this, and I watched this, dude. So like, I made some statements, you know what I mean, about like, that I felt were on my heart. Like, George Floyd dying, right? Like, I was like driving back from Baltimore with this piece of equipment crying. I was like, man, I gotta say something about this. This is fucking horrible, man. Like, I feel like our country's, you know, fucking eating itself, you know?
yeah,
And I'll talk about some of that. Have you seen The Men Who Built America? Or no. America, the Story of Us?
I don't know if I don't remember the title.
Check
but,
that out. America, the Story of Us. There's another one called Mankind, the Story of Us All. It's tight as fuck. Anyways, dude, I did that, and then I'm like, you know what, man? We're giving away free donuts. I'll take them wherever they are, right? And I see some of this stuff like some brands that like just keep posting tacos, or whatever their product is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I see them doing well. I think sometimes, man, people don't want to hear that shit. People want to come get a donut and not have anything attached to it. You know what I mean? They don't want to know that you're like civically engaged. They want to get away from that. They just want the fucking donut to be a donut.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need that like respite. You need that island. You know what I mean? Where they're not talking about Trump. We're not talking about storming the Capitol. We're not talking about
You're right.
any of this shit. I want some fucking chicken wings, bro.
Yeah.
And I want to shut the fuck up and love this chicken wing and be quiet.
I never talk about politics or anything socially, and I never, nobody will ever know which direction I'm leaning, but if you know me, you know. I mean, but it's just, yeah, I don't use my platform to talk about anything controversial, whichever way it is. I mean, I stand up for a lot of different things, but
Personally.
yeah, personally,
Right.
but I'm not going to use my platform to discuss that. And some people in my personal life will have a problem with that. Well, they're like, "Well, you're so popular. Why aren't you being more vocal?" And I was like, I'm not going to use my popularity because of my restaurant to talk about anything political right now, because it's just, this isn't that. I'm selling chicken wings, and I want to sell chicken wings to Trump supporters. I want to sell chicken wings to everybody.
Bro, dude, did you see this thing floating around? It was like, cut off your friends, cut off your customers, cut off your bubba. If they're these people, you don't need them in your life. And I'm like, dude, I will sell anything to anyone. I don't give a shit.
I would like to be the guy that refused Donald Trump's business if he tried to order chicken from me.
Bro.
I would like to be known for the guy that said no.
You
but-
know what I would do? This is the thing, man. I'm like, I think that some of that stuff is short-sighted, and some people don't know what it is to run a business. Do you know about Iceberg Slim?
Yeah.
The pimp?
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Some of that stuff, that's like modern philosophy. he's not pimping these girls. He's pimping the customer.
Yeah.
Right? And what he does with the money from the customers buys his freedom.
Yeah.
Right?
I've read about him.
Dude.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I don't care what you think. I'm going to spread love, dude. And what I'm going to do with the resources that I get, I'm going to turn them back into love. You know? And so that's what I think, dude. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about your marketing, and I love it. I think that the quirkiness about it and the collabs that you've done is just super dope.
Yeah.
And I forgot what it is that you and I, like, almost indirectly bumped heads about. It was about the Red Hot Riplets, but I don't know how or what it was, but I don't know that. But I mean, it's all about marketing, and if you do it right, you're going to be on other people's radar. They're going to notice you, and they're going to see that, and that's how I became aware of you and all that stuff. And when I met you, I was at South County Tech judging I was judging a fucking culinary contest, and you knew who I was, but I didn't know who you were at the time.
Come on, bro.
Dude,
I don't know who you are.
I don't.
This motherfucker here.
No, dude, I swear to God, I'm standing there, and you're like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I was like, "Hey," and I swear, it just didn't.
What
hit
was I
me.
doing there?
You were buying a walk-in cooler.
Dude, they had these doors from a walk-in cooler that were raw. They were like from the 40s.
Okay, well,
I wanted to do something with those doors. I didn't end up doing anything with them.
okay, but yeah, I bumped into you there, and I don't know.
That's my favorite shit to do, dude. Go talk to those kids, dude.
Me too.
It's the best.
Me too.
That's the best.
Dude, let me tell you a story, and I'll talk about it, dude. I hired one of them, and she, she made like a comment on her social media about, dude, this was a young girl, and she was like telling other people in the store how hot I was.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's not cool. And I
She worked for you at the time?
She worked for me. And I was her mentor.
Yeah.
But she had a different, I don't know what it was. She was telling other people that I was cute, and I'm like, you need to tell her to chill the fuck out. Like, so whenever she left here and she said something on social media, and I sent her a text message because she was bashing the restaurant, and I texted her. I said, listen, keep my name out of your mouth. Don't talk about me. I don't want to hear anything or anybody say that you even said my name. And I didn't threaten her, but I was kind of stern with the way I said it. She showed her mom, she showed the school, and they said I couldn't mentor anymore.
Yeah.
And because I had to put this little girl in her place, like, stop talking about me, because she was mad that I fired. She started dating one of my dishwashers, and I'm like, it just got so messy, and I'm like, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And then so she like says something on social media, and I'm like, listen, man, I don't care what you do with your time and your social media, just don't mention me, because just don't do that. And then so she.
Do you think you messed up?
No, because I ended up talking to the chef. I talked to the chef there, and they're like, we love you.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna. I wouldn't hire any more of them.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to intertwine those two things. And so going to schools and talking to people, and it's something that you and I share. I'm gonna get off of here, and you guys are just gonna have to watch this on YouTube. Is that we give back. So a lot of the things that you do now, or that I've read that you do, is like giving back to like Boys and Girls Club.
Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah, Big Brothers Big Sisters. Being a convicted felon, I go back into prisons, and I work with reentry programs. So I work with Mission St. Louis and Connections to Success, and these places they help with guys that are getting out of prison, guys and girls getting out of prison, fighting drug addictions, and getting back into the workforce, or getting into the workforce for the first time. And I mentor a lot of those people, and I go speak at the events, and I end up hiring some of the people. And I've gotten some interns from Mission, and they've paid them to work for me.
Right.
And I was like, shit, hell yeah. And these guys just got out of prison and have been some of the best employees I've ever had.
They're people, dude.
And like I'm known for hiring the unhireable. Like, I will hire, if you've got a tattoo on your face and you look scary, I want to know if you're really that scary. I want to talk to you and find out. And if you're not, like, come work for me. Or shit, my manager has blue hair, and I love people to express themselves and be themselves
Yeah.
as long as they're professional in that. But like I go back into prisons, and ever since COVID, I haven't done it. But I work with the U.S. government and the probation office, and I'll talk to the guys that are on probation. I'll go into prisons and let them know, like, hey, I'm a drug dealer from the South Side who just did a couple years in federal prison. I'm not coming to you from a church. I'm not coming to you with a psychology degree and a tie. I'm in a chef jacket or a fucking t-shirt with a body full of tattoos saying you can be me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had an impact on a bunch of people. They've actually hit me up when they came home. I've gotten letters from them. One guy sent me his GED certificate about 6 months later, and I'm just like, damn, like I really had an impact on these people. And I think that really fulfilled a part of me that I really needed fulfilled. Like when I get depressed or when I start feeling down or thinking about my past, if I'm able to turn my past into something positive, I know it's like a fucking cliche, but if I'm able to take my darkness and then my success and try to help other people, like that's like a win for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's such a rewarding feeling, and I know that you do some stuff like that, and I just think that's dope because what do you do with the organizations? Probably not much in the past year because of.
Oh, things have been weird. It
Yeah.
sucks. Well, I mean, like, I'm on the board for this place called the Harris House, which is it was on South Broadway.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And yeah,
I've had
so-
some people that live there.
Right. So I went there. I'm on the board, and so they hired me for like marketing. Not hired me. I'm on the board like because of marketing and stuff, right? And because of my past and because of where I'm at now, and so that's tight.
Do you ever just like see the amount of people that are engaging on social media, or you're in one of your stores and you just like see the amount of people in lines and you're like, shit, man, like this, I built this, I
Oh, it's,
created.
dude, it's crazy to me going into World's Fair at night, and I own that building.
That's so cool that you
Going
bought
in
that
there, I'm
place.
like, this is crazy to me that this is mine. It's
Yeah.
insane to me, for sure, because there's still, like, there's a part of me, dude, for sure, that, like, I'm trying to, like, shake this, and I, like, talk to a counselor and stuff. There's, like, one person in the world that tells, me I'm a piece of shit, and that's me.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, I'm trying to, like, shake that. And but, like, there's a part of me that, and I think that it served me well, where I'm, like, you're going to go back, and I'm, like, I fight that,
Yeah.
or you're going to be nothing, or you're a loser.
I
And
still have bad dreams about that shit.
Dude, I'd smell the cleaners sometimes.
Dude, I'll hear keys
Yeah.
and it'll freak me out.
Yeah.
Or like I'll watch something and then go to sleep and have a nightmare about getting arrested or going back to prison.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know.
I'll think that.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I got this I got this special insurance
Yeah.
and bail is part of it. Yeah. It's like I have like this baller insurance that's like
No
for
shit.
ballers, yeah.
That's awesome.
And part of it's like I get bail up to like $50,000.
Why would you need bail?
I don't know. I just always think whatever. There's still
Right.
this like part of me where I'm like, something's gonna happen, dude. And so I don't know.
But I mean, your brand is wildly successful, bro. You can't,
But you understand that.
No, I do. I
Yeah.
totally do. And there's so many times that I want to.
No, people will say to me, like, dude, I have a van. I've had some tight ass shit. I've had some like crazy cool cars and like cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have some cool stuff right now. I have some, dude. Alexis Odos interviewed me a couple years ago, dude. And I was like, I had a surgery. Like, I almost died. And like, I was going to die. I had this surgery, and it was like a couple days after the surgery, we had it scheduled. And I'm sitting there like so high. And we did the interview, dude, and I was just like talking. And the interview sounds fine, but at the time I was like, man, I'm so out of it. But the everything that we talked about in this interview has like come true, right?
Really?
Except on an NBA team. I want an NBA team bad.
Really?
Yeah, dude. We need an NBA team in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time, dude, and I'll say it wherever I go, dude. But I'm gonna own an NBA team in St. Louis. I will. And and so come on, Jay Bird, what are we talking about? But this dude, so I sold everything because I'm like, I'm trying to move this thing forward, right? So I had a 04 Honda Odyssey forever. I mean, the front door doesn't open. I got to open the side door and reach around. And like people will be like, This dude said something to me, and now I got an '09 Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
So you upgraded.
I upgraded to the '09.
Oh, yeah.
I got it for a lick, dude. I got it for $6,000. I got the old one for a G, and I was like, I can have a car for $1,000, dude. It'll get me everywhere I need to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, it's paid for, dude. And I had it for almost 4 years. Anyways, dude, the thing started. Somebody cut off my catalytic converter, and I was like, man, it might be time to like take the sails off the Black Pearl, right?
Shit.
But I got the '09. Now I feel like I'm in a Bentley, dude. But so I pulled up the other day, dude, somewhere, and this dude said like, it's crazy that like some real successful guy, like as successful as you are, is driving this Odyssey.
A minivan.
And this dude had an Audi, and I was like, how much do you make? And he was like, I make this amount of money. I was like, it's crazy to me that you have that car, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, and I just got real with the dude. I'm like, who do you get that car for? He's like, to impress other people. I'm like,
Exactly.
I don't give a shit about impressing you.
Right.
I don't care. I know who I am, dude. You know, at the same time that I tell myself a piece of shit, there's a voice that runs like right alongside it that is like, I am so proud of you, kid. You know,
Yeah.
I talk to like this little dirty ass kid. For real, dude, I do this like visualization when I'm like real down. I picture this little dirty ass Jason sitting next to me, and I'm like, what do I need to do to make this little kid feel safe and provided for and proud? And I do that, and it makes it real easy, the thing that I need to do. So I know this little kid's proud of me, that you know what I mean? And there's something freeing about being like, this isn't for you. All this is for you, but you know what I mean? It's not to like, it's not for you to think well of me.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm out here doing it, and of course I don't want to fail.
Right.
Of course I'm afraid of failing, but really I don't care. I'm gonna push it. And dude, so like, I don't need to be like some of the richest people that I know, dude, that are like stupid rich. They got shit on their boots, you
Yeah.
know? And they're billionaires, and you wouldn't know it, and they don't need to flash. And I used to think, dude, I have Gucci sneakers on right now, but I bought these like in that time where I was like,
Dude.
I need all this shit to make you think I'm worth it, because I didn't feel worth it.
Can we talk about that for a minute? I really want to get into that.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for the perfect person to do that with. I literally, and I'm not exaggerating at all. I just bought a new Jeep, and it was $41,000. I've had a Jeep. I love Jeeps. I will never not own a Jeep.
Yeah.
And in my midlife crisis, I bought a convertible 2003 Mustang V8 GT. It's badass. I love it. And I paid $6,000 for it. No car payment. So, but my closet is worth more than my car,
Bro,
dude. And so the thing is, and I hate all of that shit. It's the most.
does it make sense to you
It
anymore?
makes zero fucking
Yeah.
sense. I posted on Instagram the other day. I said, I wish I would have taken all the money I've spent on designer shit trying to impress other people and bought a boat.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I had all this money stacked up, and this dude
I'm
was...
wearing DCs. I'm wearing skateboard shoes.
I know. Because who gives a shit?
And a Cobra Kai t-shirt. I bought it from Amazon.
Dude, I'll tell you. This dude took me to look at buying houses. This is a decade ago, and I didn't know it at the time, dude. Because I just thought I swear to God, bro. At the time, I had no examples of success in my life. I didn't know anybody who owned anything. Right? One of the first things that I tell these kids when I like go to these schools, I'm like, dude, how much are those shoes? And they're like $180, $225. I'm like, how often do you buy those shoes? A couple times a month. I'm like, did you know there's a FHA loan where you put 3% down, you can own a home for the price of those sneakers? I didn't know any of that. I didn't know, and I'm caking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like off hustling and whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? Selling hot dogs, like legit shit. But like, this dude took me to look at houses, and he's showing me $400,000 houses. I'm like, dude, do you realize? Like, I'm like, I have $100,000, right? I didn't know that you only need to put down $12,000. I didn't know any of it. So what I would do is, I'm like, well, I can't buy a house, I can't buy a multifamily. How do people? I just thought everyone was rich.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, when I And I'm like, you know, go to the club or whatever, dude, and like people are like, girls are like, ooh, the Louis Vuitton belt or the Gucci belt. So I'm buying more of this shit because I'm getting payoffs right now.
Yeah, exactly.
From this.
Yeah.
You know, where like I didn't know like, oh, I can buy this house for 3% down. And there's programs that will give you the 3% to put the 3% down, and then you don't have to pay them back if you keep the house for 5 years. And now you have a $400,000 asset that now when I was going to get loans, they're like, what do you got? That's why we didn't get loans for Strange Donuts, bro. Because I have fucking $50,000 in sneakers.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to put down. Anyways, so I try to like school people on that stuff.
I talk about it all the time, and I want to know. Like, I talked to my 18-year-old son who, and bro, I grew up in you knew where I grew up, so I really didn't have shit. I went to school, seeing all these other kids with like Guess jeans and like sneakers I couldn't afford. So I kind of fucked up my son by getting him all that shit.
Stuff.
And so my son never knew what it was like to struggle or have like off-brand shoes, because I wanted to provide a different life for him. So I asked him, I was like, dude, if everybody in the world woke up tomorrow blind, would you still want those Yeezys? And he was like, yeah, because they're comfortable. I was like, okay. What about the Louis Vuitton duffel bag that you want so bad? Would you still want that? He was like, probably not. I was like, because we buy things to impress other people. And that's all it is. I was watching Gary Vee. I was watching an interview from him, and this guy asked him, it was about minimalism, and Gary Vee talked about somebody that like lived beyond their means, drove a BMW, all this shit, and he asked Gary, like, why do you think people do that? He's like, because they're insecure.
Period. I see that now. When I see somebody like shining, I'm like, probably that's all your money.
Yeah.
You know? When I see somebody like boisterous and loud and aggressive, I know you're probably a bitch, right?
And you're suffering.
And you're afraid.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, dude, I'm like, I just want to give you a hug, dude.
Yeah.
I swear. And I don't like, I look at people like people. And I don't like, when I see that, I'm like, we used to have monthly meetings at Strange Donuts, and we'd have food, and we haven't had a monthly meeting where we have a all staff meeting in close up to a year now. We had a meeting in World's Fair parking lot, like with a skeleton crew of people 8 months ago, and we're like, here's the plan. If this shit we're like, bata, 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 bata. And I'm like, to let you guys know, if anybody isn't comfortable, I'll fill in. Anyways, what am I trying to say, dude?
Where were we?
Shining, we're talking about
shining. When
dude,
you see
so
people
so monthly
shining.
meetings,
Yeah.
I'll bring in speakers, right? So I had that dude, you know what I mean? Because I hire me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hire me. And I'm like, I am going to teach these people what no one talked about money. No one talked about savings. No one talked about any of these loans or how to get ahead. You know what I mean? Either because they didn't know how to talk about it, they didn't want you to know, or they didn't know.
They didn't know.
So I have people come in, they're like, this is the program. I'm the guy who you show me your work history. I'll give you the 3% to put down on the homes. These are homes that are for sale right now, that anybody that works here right now could afford this multifamily, right? We have people that come in and talk about adoption. We have people that come in and talk about big brothers, big sisters. And I try to, because I love to give my people, it's a goal of mine, you know what I mean, to have like a big chunk of people that work for me make $100,000 a year, right? Like through Strange Donuts right now, the least paid person makes more than me. And I'm fine with that because I'm kicking the can down the road, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll cash out when there's, 10,000 stores.
I tell my employees all the time that they make more than I do, and they don't believe it.
They don't believe it, dude. But the
If I clocked in and made as much as they did, I'd be fucking bummed.
bro. So yeah, but then you're gonna not be able to pay the light bill or buy more chicken. But the so I just tell what I can't. I'd love to give them $100,000 right now. I can't, so I try to give them as much value as I can. You know what I mean? To bridge that gap. And I'm like, so that's how I approach. That's what I say about like maximum service. Like, what's the most I can pay them? What's the most value I can give them?
Yeah.
You know?
And you do that. You created. I mean, you've given them some shit that they probably have never gotten before.
People
and it's,
don't quit at Strange Donuts.
dude.
We have like less than 2% turnover. And I'm like, and I still feel guilty about what I'm giving them. I'm like, I'm giving it all to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want more. I
Yeah.
want to give them more.
I bought one of my employees a car, dude.
We've done that a few times,
I bought
yeah.
him a fucking car. I've never even bought any of my girlfriends a car. And I bought this kid a car because
Yeah.
he was the most dedicated person that has ever worked for me. He caught the bus and he would walk in snow to get here. I'm like, dude, I got him a little $1,500 car, but nobody's ever done anything like that for him. And
Yeah.
for me, it wasn't gonna like kill me, but it was a huge thing for him, and like I go out of my way for these people, dude. Like I do whatever I can for my people because they work their asses off for
Yeah.
me. And I mean, this is a tough business, man.
Yeah. I think to your point, if I'm doing that stuff and if I'm like running on empty, I think it's time to give more. And that's all I've like, what did you do? When I'm on the come up, all I know is stay down, right? Like,
Yeah.
dude, like, that's all I know. It served me well. Right now, sometimes I don't see like the immediate rewards from that. But dude, when we need people to show up, like when times are tough, like we're paying our bills right now, right? $1 at a time.
Yeah.
There's what did I just saw? I just went to Yenching today, Chinese restaurant. That's
Yeah.
fire. I went to this, dude. Have you been to Fire Chicken
No.
on Page? Dude,
Really?
good.
Okay.
Fire Chicken. And anyways. 60% of restaurants in the United States right now
Yeah.
out of business. We're doing all right.
I can't complain either.
I'm gonna have to
man.
pee in a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me pee real quick.
All right. Yeah, do that. We'll cut it. We got like 15 minutes.
I brought I got the thing I plug it in so it never dies, but I forgot it.
Hit it, rip it.
Are we back?
Let's go.
We're ready.
So I wanted to ask you a question,
Yeah.
and I was a long time ago. I actually wanted to ask you at the time because I saw you post a picture of you and the RZA.
Oh yeah,
And
bro.
I was like, I fucking grew up on those guys.
Yeah.
And the RZA is one of the most genius fuckers out there.
You've
And
seen. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, I'm a fan of all of his work, his acting, his Bobby Digital, like his other characters. Yeah, like, dude, like, I know shit that a lot of people don't know about RZA.
Yeah.
And the Bobby Digital album, and because I mean, my name is Bobby, and I'm just like a big Wu-Tang fan. And,
Bobby.
Yeah, dude, the whole thing,
Yeah.
bro. Like, I'm such a fan, and like when you posted that, it's like when Mike Johnson told me about him hanging out with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you were hanging out with the RZA.
Dude, my life has been so crazy, and people will say like, but to talk about that,
Yeah.
I'm walking, I turn a corner, there's the RZA,
What do you mean?
and I'm like, dude,
Where?
and I was like,
What
I was
corner
like,
did you
I was
turn?
like RZA, and he's like, bang bang. He said, he was like, bang bang. I was like, bro, you're like Jesus to me, and he was like, love, baby, right? And I just sat and talked with him for a minute, and I was like, dude, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, of course. And he did his little karate stance, and I was just like, I walked, and I was like, that's crazy, but dude, like, that's like one of many, 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 many. Like, I love the Wu-Tang. Like, I mean, and I met, like, dude, they came, and I got invited to go to this thing in the Duck Room. There was Ghostface, Raekwon.
That's awesome, man.
There was, who else was there? There was, dude. It was the shit. Anyways, dude, I was in Mexico. I'm standing in this little place grabbing a coffee, and this dude's talking, and he had like a Go Yard bag, and I was like, fake ass Go Yard bag, right?
Yeah.
And he had like these ripped up ass bullshit jeans and some dirty sneakers. And the dude's like, he went to pay, and he pulled out a Go Yard wallet, and put his hand forward, and I was like, fake ass Go Yard wallet. His sleeve came over his watch, and it was like, bling!
Yeah.
I was like, God damn! And it was a black card, and I was like, who's this dude? And then he said, can I get butter for my bagel? And when he said it, I go, Big Sean? And he was like, yeah. And
No
I was like,
shit.
and I was just like, dude, I'm a big fan. And there was a song with him and Kendrick at the time where everybody was like, Kendrick murdered him. And I was just like, bro, I just want to tell you, like, I love your music. I think you murdered Kendrick on that. And he was like, I do too. And I was like, and he turned around, he was like, how long have you been here? He started asking me questions. How long have you been here? What's the favorite thing you did? You enjoy yourself? And I was like, yeah. Blah, blah. We just talked for maybe 20 minutes.
That's cool.
I leave, dude. And then he was like, he came back over to me, and he was like, hey, man, I just want to tell you I really appreciate you supporting my music and supporting me. I need it right now. Kind of find out the day before he got divorced, dude.
No shit.
Yeah, like him and his girl broke up. And
Damn.
and he was just tight. I ended up like, dude, I was like, it was stupid. I was like, dude, can I get your number? We do these concerts in front of our store for benefits. It would be tight if you came. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, take this number down. And it was his agent. And then he's like, say this. Well, anyways, dude, I'm trying to put the number in, and I couldn't. And I was just like, just give me your phone. And I grabbed his phone from him, and he was like,
Okay.
yeah, like, idiot. But, dude, I was selling hot dogs. I met everybody, all these people would come out, dude. And I ended up getting, like, invited to, like, do all kinds of crazy shit. I don't
That's
know. Like, with
awesome,
all these
man.
rappers. Like, one time somebody came out and gave me a big hug. And I was like, I bounced back, and he's like, you got any turkey dogs for the Healthy Brothers? And it was fucking Run DMC, dude.
What?
And I was like, oh shit. And he was like, yeah. And then I was like, no, man, we just got kosher beef. And he's like, all right. And that was it. But like, I've met all these kinds of crazy.
It's
big famous
crazy
people.
like the way that things happen, bro. Like I actually got a chance to hang out with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
And I was on stage with them at the pageant, and like how that happened, it was just crazy. But it was like an out of body experience, dude. Like I was on stage with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and they were all there. Busy Bone, like they were all there, and they all looked like they've been through hell and back. But it was just the coolest shit ever. So when I saw you with the RZA, I'm like, dude, that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't have really appreciate that photo. And
Oh, it was legendary, dude.
dude, that really.
You see, he rewrote. He rewrote the ice cream truck song.
No.
Yeah, dude, this happened over the summer, and I think it got drowned out by COVID. But the Good Humor, they have ice cream trucks. Good Humor ice cream trucks. So the Good Humor song was a minstrel song. It was based off a minstrel song, like a blackface show.
Okay.
And like nobody knows that, but there's like blackface music playing. You know what I mean, for kids to come get ice cream from. But it's from a minstrel show. He rewrote the song that now plays in every ice cream truck.
Really?
The RZA did.
That's so
Some
dope.
of the dude. I was thinking about. I thought it made me cry. I was thinking, because I know a ton about the dude's life, right? Like, imagine this dude. Projects,
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
what you see growing up. Not only do most people not make out of that, no one goes to where he was. Dude, I saw an interview with him on NPR, I was listening to it. But anyways, dude, so where that dude came from now, hopeless, right? Now the music that every kid hears when they go to eat a strawberry shortcake bar
It's from him.
is from him.
Yeah.
That shit's wild,
It
dude.
is.
The man, I was gonna jump into something else.
And
dude.
he scored a Tarantino, a couple of them.
Kill Bill.
Yeah,
Tons
like-
of stuff.
A lot of shit that people just don't know about. So.
But he was doing an NPR video. This is tight, and this is kind of case in point. And this is kind of how I want to live my life. He was doing an interview because he became a chess grandmaster, right? There's like 40 or something grandmasters in the world. The RZA is one of them.
Oh, wow.
Right? There might be more than that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's a very low number, right? But this dude crushes at chess. He's on an interview with Diane Rehm, and he says a word. she says a word in the interview, and he was like, "What's that word mean?" He stopped the interview and said, "What's that word mean?" And she explained him the definition of the word. And he said, "Thank you, go ahead." And I was like, to be that humble,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To be like, you're the fucking man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got Wu Wear, you got Wu Tang, you're on like 5 different labels. You're getting money all over the world.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who you are. If you smoke blunts in the 90s, you know what Wu Tang is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through 2000, I mean, like, and now there's like this resurgence. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Right.
But I was like, to then be able to like be like, wait a minute, I'm still learning.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'll never stop learning.
And I think-
I take a lot of those people and I look up to those people that are humble and that keep their humble appeal about themselves, and I appreciate that. Like, I mean, even here in St. Louis, man, and I know that there's like such a culture in like the chef world when it comes to like Sauce Magazine and the magazines and like the culture, and I try to go against the grain, like dude, and I'll talk about this real quick, and I want to talk about COVID. So
Yeah.
when COVID first happened, and it was a thing, and we had to go to carry out only. I shut the restaurant down, like I closed, and it was the best 3 months of my life, to be honest with you. Like I spent time with my kid, me and my 18-year-old son were just hanging and just kicking it, and I got on a live video, or I posted something on Instagram from St. Louis Wing Company, and I was basically saying like I'm doing what's best for me and my family and my staff. I want to keep them safe because some of them take public transportation, so I'm just shutting it down. And I think I mentioned Mike Johnson and or Katie's or Rick Lewis or something, and so Mike Johnson later told me that I almost got him killed because somebody that was watching my live got so mad at Mike because Mike was staying open, and so he started calling Mike's restaurant saying that he's going to kill Mike if they don't shut the shit down. Mike had to call the FBI and basically say that somebody's trying to kill him, and it was from one of my Facebook friends. And I'm like, holy shit! And Mike told me that on the podcast. I'm like, dude, why are you just now telling me this?
Yeah.
He's like, well, how do you tell somebody you indirectly got me killed? Like he was like, I didn't want to just call you up because you might have went crazy on this guy, but he's like, I was just waiting to see you in person. So like when COVID hit, dude, I didn't even know if I was gonna reopen. I didn't know. Everything was just so unsure, and luckily I built those relationships with the banks, and I got the PPP loan, and it helped me reopen, and I didn't understand fully the impact that I've personally had on people's lives when it comes to my brand and the food that I make. And when I reopened, and I threw out all the emails and stuff, and people saying, well, when are you going to reopen? When are you going to reopen? I'm like, soon. We're going to reopen soon. I was enjoying the break, but when we reopened, dude, we were so fucking busy. There was a line down the sidewalk for like 2 weeks, and people were literally in this store with tears in their eyes because they missed it so much. And I think that that was a pivotal moment in my entire career that I realized that I impacted people so much with just food, and like the things with your donuts. Like I've sent people down there to pick up donuts whenever you come out with something weird or funky. Like, I have to try that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound very good, but I have to try it. You know, so have you ever, and so like I know that you guys have your staples, and I know that when you bought World's Fair, you kept it the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I was when I found out about that, I'm like, man, I hope he doesn't do strange there. I hope he keeps it at World's Fair, and you did exactly that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of knowing who you are from the outside, I figured you were going to do that anyway. So with the strange donuts, have you? And I'm sure, dude. I was going to say, have you ever made something that was just awful?
For sure.
But I'm sure you've done it more than a couple times. Where
Yeah.
you're like, okay, this is terrible.
Push the envelope too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, we do, and like some of this I've talked about a ton, but like, this is what like. I'm not going to answer your question, but I'll, in an indirect way.
Yeah.
Cherokee Street, and I'm not talking shit about Cherokee Street. There used to be this place, and it's still there, La Bajasana, right? And they made Mexican food for Mexican people, right? Like, we had a store in Mexico City. It's kind of a crazy story. I almost got killed there. We had 2 stores in Mexico City, Mexico.
What?
Strange Donuts, yeah. And the it's too long. I got to dip in a
Okay,
minute, but
yeah.
but I'll tell that story another time, dude. But like, so you get forced, right? Like, so you're making Mexican food for Mexican people, right? Tripe and lengua and menudo, you know? And then white people start coming and they're like, where's the quesadilla?
Right.
So now you're like,
Where's the chimichanga?
do I keep selling menudo and be who I am and miss out on this money? Or do I sell the chimichanga?
Yeah.
You know? And you end up like watering down your offering to please more people. And I try to be like now, like I'm a little watered down, right? Like,
Do you feel like you had to, or did you?
I think that I try to like put things on the menu that are good, and then maybe like a step or maybe 2 steps out of your comfort zone, right? But like something that it's approachable to most people. Like we would have thing like, you know, we pig liver caramel. You know what I mean? Like literally we make caramel out of pig liver, right? Like people would be like, oh my, you know what I mean? People would be like, oh my God, that's crazy. How many people are really gonna buy that thing?
Right.
Not a lot of people, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might get 50 people, whatever. That's not enough people to like, and like the attention, like the focus that takes to do those things, the energy that it takes. With the energy that it takes to sell 50 of those pig liver caramel donuts. You know what I'm saying? I could have made 300 glazed,
Yeah.
and I know everyone's gonna buy those.
Right.
So
But you did it anyway.
yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think that we're like pushing. Like, we made jelly out of like Baja Blast, right?
Okay.
Like a week ago, we sold a shitload of them.
I
right?
saw that.
Yeah, and and it was tight, and it led us into this other opportunity. But like the now it's more like I try to do stuff that doesn't like. I'm not doing anything that's gonna gross anybody out. You know what I
Right.
mean? It might just be like, oh, that's weird, and yeah, I'll try that.
Do you feel like you've hit like a creative rut sometimes?
Sometimes, I mean, like for
'Cause
real.
When I want to close it out by just asking you like, what do you think is next? Because I really get asked this all the time. My dad asked me earlier today. He's like, so what do you want to do? Because I'm spinning my wheels right now, and
When does this come out?
next week.
If you're not an opportunist, I don't understand you.
Yeah.
And I think opportunists think about as like a taken advantage of, right? And it's not a taken advantage of anything. It's like, how can I help? And I think that like the things that we will do together, the way that it'll push me to think differently, because this dude pisses a bunch of people off and I love it. You know what I mean? His brand is in a stage where Strange Donuts used to be, where we'd have a punk band named Hell Night, you know what I mean, play in front of the store and shut traffic down, and there's neighbors 3 blocks away calling the cops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that anymore.
Right.
Right? This dude can. And I
Yeah.
fucking love it.
That's awesome.
There's
man.
some dudes, the Deep End, right? Like, if you haven't seen them, they're doing these pop-ups, Deep End. They're badass, and I just look at them, I'm like, man, dude, I love you. I love what you're doing. You're making this fire-ass food. It's pop-up, it's grimy,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's served with fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
And I just love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. So, like, what I hope, that's what is next for me. There's more Strange Donuts coming. I would love to be the guy who rescues donut shops that are going out of business, because a bunch of them are.
Yeah.
A bunch of donut shops are going to go out of business, and I understand the business, and I'd love to be the dude that like makes sure that, dude, when this happened, when COVID hit, I just spent all my money personally opening Edwardsville, and then the opportunity at World's Fair popped up that I've been talking to these people for years about, you know, and I'm like, borrow money to get that done, and then boom, this hits. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I'm so underwater right now that and we're back and we're cool. It's day to day, but I feel like I've been in like survival mode for about a year.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that like it might not appear that way to some people, but Strange has been in survival mode. I feel like I'm like fight mode, and you can't. It's hard to be creative when you're fighting.
Dude, I know. I've been stressed out for a long time, man. It's very stressful. It's hard to be creative when you're stressed out.
So now, to answer your question, like, I think that what you are going to see soon is like, I'm not done fighting, but I'm coming out of this like, protect yourself, keep moving forward, and there's going to be like some real creativity coming.
Dude, I mean, I see that in you, bro, and I totally believe it, because I see you from a distance, and I don't talk to you often. I barely ever talk to you, but I just kind of pay attention to what you do, and I think that everything that you've done has worked for you, and I don't see you failing, dude. Like
I appreciate it, dog.
don't, bro. Like
Fuck no, not on my watch, dude.
No, dude. I think that everything you do, and like it's like there's certain people that just have it, you know. I mean, like Katie. I don't know how well you know Katie.
I ate the first Katie's pizza
dude.
ever, like the research pizza.
Really?
Yeah, I love Katie.
Yeah, Katie's great, and their stories are just amazing. I can't wait to have them on the show. Her and Ted are just really cool ass people.
Mm-hmm.
And like I congratulate people like that from a distance. You know, I support you guys, and I see it. I mean, a lot of the people in St. Louis that support each other, it doesn't have to be on a constant personal thing. You know, I've sent people down to your donut shop more times than you'd probably believe, just to bring shit up here and you know, give it out to the staff. And fuck, I'd give it to customers sometimes. I have, but yeah, dude, like I see you going. I mean, I see that. I see whatever you do, and I think this vegan thing is going to be super dope, because there's nothing around here.
It's going to be so fucking awesome.
There's nothing around
I can't.
here.
I'm trying to like be. I am so excited about it. This dude is so badass, and to be able to like. To be the missing link that this dude doesn't have.
Yeah. And it's an opportunity that he's
He's gonna fucking crush.
That's awesome.
You're gonna read about him everywhere. I guarantee it. I guarantee he's gonna be on the news.
If you have anything to do with it, I'm sure he will.
It's gonna be tight. Well, thank you. I appreciate you thinking of me that way.
No, I have a lot of respect for you, man, and we'll have to catch up and tell some stories that aren't being filmed. So yeah, man, we'll close it out here, and then we'll come back in maybe a year. And next time some big shit happens, we'll come back and talk about it.
Right on.
So,
we're gonna own an NBA team,
dude.
I'm telling you.
I mean, yeah, man. If anybody can wear little doggies on their pants, it's you, bro.
Yeah, dude. These things are fucking tight as shit.
I love it, man. Well, thanks for coming on my show, bro.
All right.
It was good chopping it up with
Thank
you,
you.
man. And Drunken Chicken Diaries, we're out. Peace.
Boom.